Good gloomy morning. I'm Sylvia, the crafty old lady, and in a previous video I had mentioned that I would make a video showing you guys how to make these little baskets. So that's what I'm doing today. Now this one I copied from a tutorial, and I'll leave that video down below, but she uses white cardstock. I used ivory colored cardstock, and mixes brown paint with Mod Podge, and she puts it all over her, every part of the basket, and that's what I did with this one, and it's still looking quite good. This one I think I put the decoupage on after I made it. Yeah, in this one she put decoupage on all the strips separately, and this too. This is the basket part, this part right here, and I will show you how to measure that out in a minute, but I'll give you the measurements of this size basket. I use a 1-inch hole punch, and you punch out, I punched out about 7 circles and glued them together to make the bottom. And then this strip is 3 3/8 by 5/8. And then we have 3 strips that are 1/8, and then 2 that I made a little bit bigger. It says to make it a 1/4 inch, but I made mine just slightly under a 1/4 inch. And you'll notice here, I had to start all over. I started and I made a mistake, but this paper, or this cardstock, splits up so as you're weaving it in and out. And so I always make mine extra long, so that at least this long, and then you can cut off the frayed edges. But for right now, we need to make an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, and then 1/8 of an inch slats. So it's not necessarily that easy to do, but this is how I do it. I take my little, these are all 1/8 of an inch here, and then I do the same on the other side, and then I turn it around and do it again, same thing. Now it's definitely hard to be exactly precise, so don't worry if you can't get it exactly. It's going to be okay. So we're going to do that, and this, there. Oh, I think that one's fatter than this one, so I'm actually gonna erase it and move it over a little bit. I can do it this way. I think that's better. Okay. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's better. And then we're going to do the same on each end. 1/4 inch, or not a 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch. My head is not in the way, hopefully. And turn it around and mark it again. And then we'll make our little border. So, okay, now this is the hard part. We have to make 1/8 of an inch pieces, little slats all the way across, like this. The problem I had, though, when I turn it over, is they're not exactly in the same spot. So I found that if I did this and turned it over, that sometimes my slats were not lined up properly, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry if my hand is in the way. Okay, and then we just take our little ruler. I'm going to use my see-through ruler. And we draw lines, we connect the dots. And so I'll probably speed up while I'm doing this. Oops. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to leave the border and just cut out every other slat. This is our weaving base. I apologize if you hear my washing machine in the background. I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous video or maybe even a future video, but I did apply for another job, and this one is for an assistant at an agency here in town that it's sort of like a thrift shop, but it's free. Everything is free in it, and so I'm hoping I get that. It's more hours than I really wanted, but I think it's a job I could do, and it's just basically right around the corner from my house, so that's nice. It's actually down by my son's house. There. So we just keep doing this as we go along, and then we weave it, but I am going to carefully erase or try to erase the markings on it. But you can't use that kind of pen eraser. You need this kind. I think it's called a kneaded eraser. Oop, I almost cut the wrong one off there. I got distracted. Yesterday was 65 degrees at our house. It was so nice. But it wasn't super sunny, but it was still nice. And I had picked up Bethany at 10. She spent the day with us. My husband was working, but we had picked him up at 1. Okay. Now we're just going to erase it. Where's my thing? And very gently erase. And we'll weave our little slats in there. Oops. We'll weave our little cross pieces. Let's move this out of the way. Okay. You can still see some of the lines, but if I put them on the inside, you won't be able to see them. So let's start with this. We are just going to weave in and out. And sometimes it helps to have like a little pokey tool to poke it in, because you don't want to bend this too much. It's kind of delicate. Whoop. Oh, there we go. It's not staying. Okay, there we go. So if you need a pokey tool, you can use something like this from Dollar Tree, because we really don't want to bend it too much. You can see how the end is fraying a little bit. That's why I make them extra long. And then I'll just poke it back up through. Oh, I hope I wasn't off camera. I'm sorry if I was, but I got 3 more that we can do. Okay, so that's what that's going to look like. Pull it through, push it down, and get the next one. And so this one's going to go the opposite way. This one we came up, this one we're going down. And that's how it's looking so far. I'm going to use a thicker one here because I have enough space for it. Do I? Yeah. Actually. Alright, so that's what it looks like. It's cute, isn't it? I am going to try to erase a little bit more here, though. But you have to be really, really careful, so it may not be worth it. You've got to have the proper eraser. Okay, I'm not going to worry about any more of that. What I am going to do now is cut off my ends. And I still also have to punch out my circles. So we're going to do that. And this is going to be my topper to go around, and this is going to be my handle. Let's move those out of the way. Don't need this anymore. I do need this. And I think I'll make my bottom pink. So I'm going to cut out 7 of these. the reason why I'm cutting so many is because I want to have, you're going to stack them, and I want to have a thick enough surface to glue this around it. So that's why I'm cutting out so many. Okay, because I think in the video that I watched to learn how to do this, she only used 3 circles, and it was very hard to, it just wasn't thick enough really of a surface to glue anything to, I didn't think. I don't know how she did it, but she did. And so we're going to get the decoupage, glue these together. We're going to glue down our ends so they stay, and we'll put it together. Okay, so I have a little plastic cutting board here that I'm going to keep all my glued stuff on. And I'm just going to go ahead and use a little old paintbrush and glue my little piece circles together. Don't need that much. And I think for the handle I'm going to decoupage that first, because you see this one kind of has a little crack in it. And I'm hoping that maybe if I decoupage it first, it'll protect it from that happening. So we're going to glue all these together. And this next part is going to be very fiddly. You'll see me struggling, I'm sure, because I've made several of these and I've struggled every time. But one thing that's helpful are these little tiny clothespins. And you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. So we're going to put these together, give them a chance to dry. And now we have our bottom of our basket. So it looks like it's sticking. If it's not sticking together, you can use the clothespins, but that's not what I was actually talking about before. I'm just going to go ahead and do the top here. And we'll put that down. And I am going to try doing this. I hope it doesn't backfire on me. This is going to be the handle. And kind of want to shape it around. Oops. You'll have to be careful, really careful with this. When you shape it so you into a handle. So what I do, I think that's the wet side. I just do this and hope for the best. And there's my handle. We'll do that, and then this side. This is a case where the clothespins might be needed. So I'm just going to pinch mine down and hope for the best. This one needs a little more glue. Oops. Okay, that's good now. We'll do the same on this side. Actually, it might be good to glue them down before you cut them off. I don't remember if I did that with the other ones or not, when I glued them. I don't remember at what point I glued these down. But in any event. Okay, I think that's good enough. So we're going to put this over here. And now the fun part begins. We're going to glue around this. And here goes nothing. So we're going to just keep gluing this around until it sticks. You got to hold it down. And it'll fall apart a few times until the glue takes hold. So just like this happens to me every time, and I just keep doing it. And once the glue gets a little tackier, it sticks. It will stick. Just keep adding some glue. Whoops. That's okay. It's messy, but it'll be okay. It dries clear. Let's do this again. We'll just kind of roll it. Gotta let it stick. Give it a chance to get stuck. Whoops. Roll it around. This is what happens every time, so if it happens to you, don't fret. You want to make sure it's actually on there. As tight as you can get it. And then we will glue the end up. Whoops. This is just how the process goes. Okay, and so we'll just put this on to hold that together, and we have our little basket. And this one was a little messier than I usually do, so we'll definitely cover it, and hopefully because you can smooth it out a little bit. So we'll do that, and I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm going to put decoupage all around and let that dry. It seems to be kind of messy, but that's okay. I will leave the link to the tutorial that I followed. She's not as messy as me. And yeah. So hopefully. And then we need to put our top around it too. I forgot about that. Oops. This is just going to go all the way across the top. And so I am going to use a clothespin. This is what I wanted to use the clothespin for. Oops. So there. Needs to move up a little bit though. Okay. Put that all the way around the top. Ooh, there. I think that popped out. We need to cut this a little bit. Probably too much. It's okay. And stick that down, shape it. And we'll put this back. I'm getting like little globs of glue on everything. Okay, so that's what that looks like, and I'm just making it worse by turning it around and around. And the last step is to put the handle on. We'll do that in a minute when it's dry. Now I'm just going to figure out how long I want my handle to be. Not that long. So I think I'll cut it right about here. And then I'm just going to glue it onto the inside. And first I think I'm going to put some decoupage on the bottom of the inside. Actually all around the inside. Okay. And now it should be fine to get stuck in there. There's a hair. Which one did I say? Oh, this one. So, okay, so I'm going to put one right here, and I'm going to put the clothespin on it, and then one over here, and I'm going to put this clothespin on it. And when that's all dry, I will come back and show you how it looks. So here is the finished little basket. It's looking pretty good. It does have a little bit of glue residue on it, but and then it did get kind of a crease here. So, but I think that's just the kind of, because of the paper, this one doesn't have any creases at all, and it's just regular cardstock, not layered cardstock. So there you have it. And as I said before, I'll leave the link to the actual tutorial that I watched to learn how to create these cute little baskets. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys are doing well, that you're happy and healthy and strong and courageous. And we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.